What's up, everybody? Ninja Nick here with Tactical Gaming, bringing you guys a quick little video. So, you got your first handgun, and you're wondering, should I open carry or conceal carry? So, before you even start considering that, check your local gun laws and make sure that you know what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do, if you need a license, if you don't need a license. Like right now, with how things have gone in the gun culture and everything else, we have several states that are now allowed to have constitutional concealed carry. So you can open carry or conceal carry with no license needed. Where I live, you don't need anything like that at all. Haven't need anything like that at all because we deal with big ass animals compared to people, but we still have some crazy people here and there. Now, before I get further into the video, if you hear any music, my lady's taking a shower, so she's listening to some good music going on. But anyways, when it comes to how you're gonna go about it, it does depend on like what you're gonna be comfortable with. So for me, I do both. I will either open or conceal carry. It just depends on where I'm going. So like if you're going to Walmart, Walmart does not look very consciously on people when it comes to open carry. More likely they're gonna kick you out and ban you from the store. So always keep that in mind on what you're gonna do, where you're going, and all that other kind of stuff. Okay, and then when you're coming up with what you want to do, make sure you have certain kind of stuff when it comes to it. Okay, so I'll show you my concealed carry guns that I use. Now, it doesn't mean you have to get this kind of one, but I have it because of where I go, where I live, and where I go. So where I live, it's really cold a lot of the time. So a lot of people will wear big poofy coats. So a 9mm might not do what you need. So for me, my concealed carry is my Kimber 1911 45 ACP. This is what I use, and it is clear, as you can see, nothing in there. So this is my concealed carry gun, but the thing is, I also have another one that I'm able to conceal carry. So one of the things that you want to check up on is what feels comfortable. Okay, so I'm a small stature dude. I'm like 5'6". I weigh like 130, 135 pounds, depending on how much I ate that day. But for me, I'm a very small frame, statured kind of guy. And so if you conceal carry, you got to look at good spots and comfortable spots. And the best way to do that is literally just conceal carry around your home and see how it feels to sit down, how it feels to walk around, and all that other kind of stuff. Because if you're going to go out and about and you might be out, doing stuff for a couple hours, you're going to want to make sure that it's comfortable for you. When it comes to conceal carry, open carry, it doesn't really matter. Just if you're going to open carry, make sure you have a very particular kind of holster. Okay? And always make sure you train with it. Dry fire, all that other kind of stuff, draws. Make sure just in case if you end up in a situation where you do have to pull your gun. Okay? So this is my concealed carry and or open carry, doesn't matter with this one. And for this one, with it being my concealed carry, I just have a normal, Kydex plastic holster, which, I mean, holds it in pretty good. And this is a 1911 heavy gun. Now, see, this is my other gun that I can conceal carry. Another Kimber 1911. Yes, I like 1911s. But, see, clear, nothing in there, no mag, all that jazz. Okay. But I can conceal carry this too, and quite comfortably. Because where I conceal carry my guns, for the most part, will be mid of the back, maybe off towards a little bit kind of like where the right cheek pocket will be, and or maybe a little bit off to the side. Either way, it works for me and it's comfortable. Now, when it comes to your concealed carry and or open carry, okay, with concealed carry, you don't have to worry too much about someone seeing your gun and you having to worry about someone possibly trying to take your gun. Because as a gunny, as a person who's going to go out and about in the world with a gun, you want to make sure that you're the only one who can pull your gun. Like, I've seen several videos of non-gun people talking about seeing gun people with their guns on their hips and talking about how, all they have to do is walk up behind the person and pull the gun out. That's a very big possibility, unless you have a retention holster. And I will show you my retention holster, okay? So, here's my gun belt, at least one of the gun belts that I have, okay? So, here's my open carry holster that I use. Okay, you can't pull this out like at all, right? Like, ain't coming out. But there's a nice little retention button here that holds it into place. So the only way someone's pulling this gun out is if they see this little button here and they push it down. It's a thumb retention. So as soon as you push it, boom. But if you don't push it, it's not coming out. So if you're going to be open carrying, make sure you have a retention holster that is only accessible to you. That way you don't have to worry. Okay, and they make so many different types of retention holsters. So when it comes to it, follow these quick, easy tips. Make sure you do your training with your gun. Buy like some snap caps, buy some laser bullets, buy something like that to the point to where you can practice your draw. Okay, make sure that, you know, if you're going out and about, make sure you have something that's going to go along with you. So for this, if I'm just having that on my hip, what I'll also take along with me is this. Okay, so this is an outside the waistband, you know, and like it does pretty good when it comes to holding your mags in, so you don't have to worry about it too much. But this thing right here, very good when it comes to putting it on my side here, because it literally just goes in, holds onto your belt lining and everything else, so you're fine. If you're concealed carry, they have stuff like this. This was cheap, it's not that bad, and it holds on to your belt really good. These metal clips are great. Like sometimes trying to take them off, like trying to get them out, is a pain in the ass because it holds onto the belt really good. So that's a good sign, but at the same time, you're easily able to get your mags out and in. Now, I don't, like with these ones, not very good when it comes to retention, as you can see, because I can easily just toss them out like that. But if you have this pressing against your side and everything else, you won't have to worry about it too much because it's the pressure that's holding on to it. Your side, along with however tight you have your belt. So, see? Don't have to worry. And it's still in there. So, when it comes to it, make sure that if you're going out, you have a spare mag or two, unless you're like a buddy of mine who goes out with like 10. But at the same time, military, dude's seen some shit, so I honestly don't blame him. Me, I will usually go out with like 2-3 extra mags on top of the one that I already have. And if I'm going out with my big one here, I have my extendo, which then allows me to have 10 rounds in it. Now, you can't conceal carry this unless like you have it in the middle of your back, because this thing will give it away. So conceal carry, make sure it's streamlined and you don't have to worry about, you know, anything kind of like showing off or showing up or like kind of protruding out. So conceal carry, make sure wherever you have it on you, whether it's like front, back, sides, whatever, make sure no one can see it. Okay? That way you don't have to worry about anything like that. Open carry, make sure it's a retention holster, not just like, you know, a Kydex one that you can have on the outside side. Not like this one. This is one, but case in point, I'll show you a different gun belt there. I'll be right back. So, okay. So this is my battle belt. So this is like my shit hits the fan. This is my plate carrier belt that goes with the plate carrier. And I'm going to do a whole video on my plate carrier setup, and I have multiple carriers. But when it comes to outside, you know, this Kydex holster, which is for my 9mm, really good. I got it from Odin Holsters. Odin Holsters is really good. They make custom holsters for all sorts of handguns. So check them out. And very good. Like, it holds the gun in perfectly fine and all that. But as you can see, there's no way of, you know, it being retained in. Only positive to that is the fact that only way it works with this is if you do a solid up motion. You can't come up from behind and like try to pull it out at an angle. It doesn't work that way. I know because I've tested it. So always do that with your gear. Wear it, test it, go out in your front yard, your backyard, whatever, do cartwheels, run around, do jumping jacks, do stuff with it on to see if your stuff comes popping out, okay? Because if the situation arises and you need to run somewhere, find cover, whatever it is that you're doing, you don't want your stuff popping out on you. You really don't. And, always make sure that you have spare mags and all that. Just like how I have on this side. This is my AR, my 9mm spare mags and all that. But train. Okay? Go with your buddies to the range. Practice at home, and I don't mean popping off rounds in your house or your apartment. Bad idea. I mean laser bullets, snap caps, things like that. Things that will help you pull out either, pull back your either, get it ready for when you're like, okay, hey, because for me, I don't have one in the chamber when I go out. So for me, what my training was, okay, get used to draw, load, fire. So same thing. So if you're gonna be one of those people who has one in the chamber, probably fine. But always note that keep in mind the basic rule, the number one basic rule of any and all guns. Always assume it's loaded. Don't sit there and start, just putting your finger on the trigger and, all that other kind of stuff. Make sure that you know for a fact that it's not loaded. And the best way to do that is, okay, it might be loaded or it is loaded, and just go from there. So always keep that in mind and, go from there. So train. Make sure that you follow the basic rule of always assuming that the gun is loaded. Always. Because you never know unless you have all your guns locked. Okay? So make sure you keep those things in mind and make sure you have extra mags. You have really good, you can get the cheap stuff, and I mean equipment, and it doesn't really matter as long as you make sure that you either tighten it up, because with this one, you can actually tighten this up to actually make it hold and retain the mags a little bit better. You can find things to where, like this one, something soft and all that. Just make sure whatever you have works for you. Okay? So when it comes down to conceal or open carry, depends on your state, depends on you, and don't worry about too much of what anyone else thinks or how they feel. Go with what you feel and what's comfortable for you. Always go that way. Because when you're more comfortable, you're more confident. Okay? So hopefully that's helpful for anyone who's new into guns and is very curious on whether they're allowed to or they can or which way they should go about it. So hopefully that helped. Hoping everyone has a great day, great night, great evening, all that great stuff. Take it easy, guys.